Imagine for a second the three most iconic supercars made in the past 25 years are coming up for auction on the same day. Well, it's happening, buddy. Today, more than a week of activity and anticipation comes to a close. The LaFerrari, McLaren's P1, and the Porsche 918 Spyder all ending today. It's been a buildup of more than a week. John and I have predicted what we think they're going to sell for. I don't know if they're going to reach record levels, but we're going to be here watching, and I hope you are too. And while I have you here, I had a quick question on tires. I've burned through the tread on the tires for the 4C. I'm currently running the 7 Hondas, looking for some advice on what I should do next. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Welcome to Good Friday, because today is the day when the Holy Trinity on Bring a Trailer gets auctioned off. The best cars, peak automotive design. We've got 3 amazing cars that we're going to talk about, plus 4 not so amazing cars. But before we do that, I want to introduce my co-host, Matt Ferrari lookalike, Johnny Miata.
Hi, Stace. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited for today's auction.
I'm super excited to see what these cars close at and to find out a little bit more, because I think in previous episodes it's been well documented. I'm not a hypercar guy, but I'm a car guy. I'm also excited about the lesser cars that we're going to talk about. That is my wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's John.
Yeah. So when we were talking about this episode and we're talking about these crazy hypercars, I started to think about other cars that we could discuss and other cars that might contrast what we're going to primarily look at. And so cars from the 80s, the everyman era, when you could go out and get a sports car for a reasonable amount of money, is something that we're going to explore today in an event that contains 4 of the aforementioned 80s goodness or badness, depending on how you look at it. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, but we're going to check it out.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're using the Bidfinite platform to log our bids. So while the Holy Trinity are being auctioned off today, and they end at Eastern Standard Time, 1, 2, and 3 o'clock, we made our bids already on Bidfinite. But the first thing we want to do is talk a little bit about the Holy Trinity. If you're unfamiliar with the Holy Trinity of cars, they are the Ferrari LaFerrari, the Porsche 918 Spyder, and the McLaren P1. All hypercars, all hybrid hypercars, all coming out around 2014-15, and similar horsepower specs. John, have you ever heard of the Holy Trinity?
So I know that there was a Top Gear segment where this moniker kind of originated, right? The Holy Trinity refers to these 3 hypercars that really brought in the era of hybrid technology for hypercars. And these were deemed to be the best of the best. Having an auction, having one organization that has all 3 cars and are auctioning them off at the same time is kind of genius, right? First off, crazy low production numbers. Second, to have the bandwidth to be able to have these cars in your inventory at the same time is really, really impressive. This is the ultimate automobile collection, and having it auctioned right now is kind of exciting. I can't wait to see where these land.
I don't know if they're going to hit record values. I know in our predictions, neither of us went into the record territory. I think for one of the cars, you got close, and we'll talk about that when we get to that. But first, I want us to take a look at, so these are MSRP prices for the actual cars being auctioned. For the LaFerrari, it was about $1.5 million. The Porsche was $932,000, which seems like a huge bargain. And
okay, bargain, but 932,000. So you're still talking nearly $1 million. But yeah, I get it. By comparison, that does seem relatively cheap.
It's 2/3 the cost of the Ferrari, right? So I mean, that's relative terms.
Yeah.
So, and the McLaren came in around $1.25 million. So that's a lot of money.
A lot of dollars.
It's a lot of dollars. It's a lot of rupees. It's a lot of pesos. It's a lot of lira. It's a lot of euros. It's a lot of anything.
No matter how you mix it up.
Yeah.
So I like how this is broken out. and I like the information. Tell me about the comments.
All right, so in addition to the specs of the cars, we've also captured, at the moment, it is 8:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wanted to show what's going on Bring a Trailer as far as the activity. So you can see that at the moment, the Ferrari has about 200 comments, the Porsche has 100, half as many comments, and the McLaren a little bit less than that, 88 comments. But when you look at the number of viewers and watchers on these, so if you're not familiar with the Bring a Trailer platform, you can watch an auction. You click the star button and it'll give you updates on when it's closing and things like that. Or you can just view it. You can just like scroll in, look at it, and leave. So I use these metrics as an indicator of how popular or noteworthy the car is. The Ferrari has 50,000 views at the moment. The 918 is around 30, and the McLaren has a little bit more than that. Again, I'm following this like it's the birth of my first child or something. If you think about Bring a Trailer having 6 or 7 million unique visitors per month, but only a handful of those people are bidding and an even fewer number of people are actually selling, there's a lot of people just there spectating.
I mean, I think the proof here is that cars are fun, and being involved in any capacity, even if it's just as a spectator, there is an enthusiast market. And sometimes as a lifelong car enthusiast, I start to think, maybe people aren't into cars as much as they used to be. But I don't think that's true. I think when we look at the metrics and we look at who's checking this out, people still love cars. People are.
We're going to start with my least favorite. John, I don't know if you've picked favorites here, but the McLaren P1 is my least favorite car. I think
Why?
I've never really been, other than the F1, I've never been a fan of McLaren cars because they all look the same to me. And I'm not saying that they do look the same. I'm saying, to me, I can't really see much of a difference, and they have uninspired names, except for a series of cars in the Ultimate series, which started in 2013, I think. So there's the Senna, there's the Longtail, there's this car, the P1, and there's a W1 coming out soon. I just think they're all boring looking.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from. I look at it a little bit differently, and it's not personal experience because I've never owned a McLaren. It is unlikely that I'm ever going to own a McLaren. But what I find is the conventional wisdom on these cars is they seem to be more unreliable than other hypercars. And hypercars are known for being expensive to maintain and kind of unreliable, right? They're like the crazy girlfriend that loves to have a good time. But that makes it, for me, my least favorite of the three as well.
I think, speaking of reliability, I think in this actual auction for that P1, they're talking about replacement of the battery. I think it's like it's like $200,000 or $300,000 to replace the battery. What kind of battery is it? Come on. Elephant testicles? I mean, like, what could it possibly be?
It's not a Duracell AA, that's for sure. You're right. Hypercars aren't bought for reliability. But when I want to go for a ride, even in my lousy 2002 Cabrio or whatever, I want to get in and drive it. That's on a car that I've spent like nothing on. Can you imagine spending however much these people are going to spend, and then you go out to your very palatial garage and it's like, ooh, yeah, no, that you can't. Maybe in a couple months we'll get a tech out from McLaren and we'll get this fixed.
The specs on this car, the McLaren P1 was designed by Frank Stevenson. It debuted at the 2012 Paris Motor Show. And they say that this is the F1's spiritual successor, but in my mind, I don't know if anything could live up to the F1.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, designed by Gordon Murray. A car you could drive, and it legitimately exceeded 200 miles an hour and then some.
Mr. Bean drove it into a hedgerow.
Did he?
He did. Yeah.
Okay. That's all three of the Holy Trinity cars on auction today claimed to be one of one in some regard. The McLaren, it was number 2 of 375, and it was the first P1 delivered to the public, sold. Guess where it was sold, Johnny?
If I had to guess, I would say Connecticut.
Yes, Greenwich, Connecticut. That was where the first McLaren P1 was delivered. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about my second favorite car here,
Okay.
the 918, which is my second favorite car emotionally, but my brain would say it's my first favorite car here because I honestly think it has a lot going for it that the other two don't. What do you think of the 918?
All right. Can I be petty?
Please.
I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but this is what drives me nuts about this car. It's $1 million car. It's $1 million+ car, right? We don't know what it's going to close at, but why does Porsche make the hybrid stuff lime green like a Monster Energy drink? It drives me insane. I don't like it. And I know that's really not the point of this car. But honestly, it looks like somebody went to AutoZone and bought a Monster sticker. The calipers, the badging. I'm also not a fan of matte anything. I am shiny all the way. I am as ADHD as you'll ever find anyone. And so a matte body makes me sad, but the lime green accents makes me angry. Pettiness.
Yeah.
Light me up. I get it.
No, I'm with you. How about this?
Oh God. I mean, come on. Temu just called and they want their floor mat back. Like I'm just not the target demographic for this car. That's
No.
got to be what it is.
I'll tell you something that I do like is the way the exhaust comes out on the top of the engine cover, those two short pipes. I think that's fantastic. That is just
achingly beautiful. It is achingly beautiful. It is stunning. And so you're right. I mean, leading off with the negativity, and a petty negativity at that, is short-sighted. The car is an engineering marvel, and it is absolutely stunning in so many ways. That exhaust might be one of the best. It is just so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's nice. I like that part of it.
There are gorgeous elements to this. This is the only all-wheel drive car of the bunch. And there's a video from Car Wow, I'll see if I can link to it here, of these three cars having a drag race. And guess what? Guess which one gets off the line first?
I'm going to guess the all-wheel drive car.
Yeah, it's incredible how much quicker it gets off the line. What's also really incredible is how slow the Ferrari is off the line, just because of the amount of power that it has. But once things get going, that car takes off.
Figures it out.
It figures it out, yeah. This car has a 4.6 V8 with 2 electric motors. Those 2 motors are up front, driving the front wheels. This was the first car to lap the Nürburgring under 7 minutes.
Wow. Interesting that it's also the least powerful car of the group.
Mm-hmm. What does that say?
Power
is nothing without control.
That's a great tagline.
Is that Pirelli?
I don't remember. I think so. I think it is.
This is one of 4 cars that was unpainted from the factory.
How do you feel about that?
I happen to really like carbon fiber when it's functional. And in this case, body panels are functional, so I'll give them a pass. But any aesthetic carbon fiber I tend not to like. And this is coming from a person whose car that I'm sitting in front of right here has tons of functional carbon fiber, but also some aesthetic carbon fiber, which I tend not to like. I think the more telling thing is that of the 4 that were produced unpainted, 2 of them have since been painted, and this car has been wrapped. So it says something that people got the car delivered and then either didn't like the look of it or were looking for something else. What about you?
Yeah, I am I think it's well documented that I like shiny things. I am a shiny thing enthusiast and a car enthusiast. So when something is matte, it doesn't matter what the car is. It just, it makes me sad. It's not finished. And it's no different for this car. I think when you look at the three cars in one shot, um, this car just kind of leaves you a little. I don't want to pay this much money and have a black primered car. I know it's not black primer, but it kind of looks like it. Here are the most exciting cars of our generation, and I'm like, ugh, it's bright green accents, and ugh, it's Mr. Bean rolled it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's fine. Matte black wrap to protect the naked weave sounds
Yeah.
like
Sounds
something I
dirty.
probably shouldn't Google.
Yeah. So my favorite car of the bunch, because I'm as an Italian, I'm contractually obligated to like the LaFerrari in blue elettrico. Man, this is a wild looking car. Um, it was Ferrari's first hybrid production car. It uses a KERS system from F1, and KERS stands for Kinetic Energy Recovery System. So it's like a Prius on steroids.
A lot
So
of steroids.
tons of steroids. This car in total from the factory with its KERS system and its lovely V12. This car sounds the best out of all of them because it has a V12. Although the V8 in the Porsche doesn't sound bad either. This car has almost 1,000 horsepower, and 10 years ago, 1,000 horsepower was a big deal. Is that true?
Yeah, oh, certainly, right? I mean, you can go get you can. I'm going to say it. You can go get a Plaid with close to 1,000 horsepower. Um, so yeah, horsepower wars are kind of in a weird spot at this point in time, but still a tremendous amount of power. And thinking that this car is 10 years old with those kind of numbers is incredible.
So this car the chassis was designed by Rory Byrne, who is currently still with the Ferrari F1 team, and it uses four kinds of carbon fiber.
Sure.
And it's got all kinds of magical technology crap going on. Active Aero.
It's Active Aero, and then what's the next?
Magnetic or horological.
Horological.
Yeah, it's got magnetic shocks, man.
Are these magnetic shocks the same from GM that Ferrari licenses? Do I have that correct?
It was. I don't know if they changed that in the time since, but yeah. So it's like a AC Delco thing, right? So they invented that.
That's wild. That little factoid makes me very happy.
Yeah. Speaking of magnetic shocks, did you ever see the Bose, the Bose car?
No.
All right, I'm gonna link to that. So they outfitted a Lexus LS with like magnetic shocks, and the car would ride smooth as you'd imagine over any kind of bumps. But they could make the car actually jump in the air.
Really?
Jump over things. Like I think they laid like some 2x4s down, and they made the car jump over it. How have you not heard of it? Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So it's an awesome video.
Getting back to LaFerrari, I have more petty questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just start at the name.
Yeah.
And I know this has been talked about by automotive journalists and enthusiasts and YouTubers and podcasters, but Ferrari LaFerrari.
Yes.
Good name. As a guy who has devoted his life to marketing, are you on board?
It's Ferrari the Ferrari. I think the intention there is that this is just the Ferrari. I think when you look at it that way, I don't think it's dumb. I think it's brash. I don't really care, if it makes sense or not. There's so many things with Italian cars that don't make sense, but they're there because they bring us joy or they make us feel something. And I think the name is just like that. It is silly, just like the Ferrari Enzo Ferrari. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I get it.
This one's worse though, right?
It kind of worse. I think when you put it in that context of when you're Ferrari, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so if I want to name my car after my car, that's what I'm going to do because I don't really care what you think. And that's the ethos of Ferrari throughout history. So, yeah, I think from that perspective, I understand it. But if Ford came out with Ford the Ford or Toyota the Toyota, like
Mhm.
perhaps that's another aspect of this. Only Ferrari can get away with calling a car the Ferrari.
Correct. It's all context. I mean, like you said, for like Ford, could Ford do it? No, because we don't expect this kind of thing from Ford. We expect sensible stuff from Ford.
The
We expect
Mustang.
the Mustang, the
Make
F one
mine a
fifty.
Galaxy.
Do you know that the code name of this car was the F-150?
No, really?
It was created around the time of the 150th year anniversary of the unification of Italy. So Italy has only been a country for 150 years or so, 160 years at this point. And it had just been city states before that. But then 160 years ago, they all unified into a country called Italia, except for one of those city states, which remains its own country. Do you know what that is?
Oh, I do not. Tell me.
San Marino. So San Marino is its own country within Italy.
Great tomatoes. Yes. Okay.
Back
I
to
did not know
cars.
that. All right, so I just
Yeah.
learned something. I mean, I knew about the tomatoes, but I did not know it's its own. So it has its own government, its own
Yeah.
everything.
Its own currency, its own government scandals.
That's wonderful.
This LaFerrari, it was one of three in electric blue, and it was the only one that came to the United States that way. John, get a load of the interior color. So if you think LaFerrari is a creative name and blue elettrico is a creative name, what about beige Honolulu? Is there anything more beige than that?
I mean, Honolulu is such a fun word to say.
Mhm.
And I honestly love the color contrast between the exterior and the interior of this car. As a matter of fact, I think we're on the same page here. This is my favorite of the three, but I think it's my favorite.
You like shiny. You like shiny things.
I like shiny. I like shiny. I like obnoxious. Um I like cars that are fully embracing the fact that they're an event, that all by themselves they are the thing. And this car is the thing, right? You show up and whatever else is going on, everything stops. Like your niece is getting married and you show up in this car and nobody cares. You just ruined her wedding because everything stops when a LaFerrari shows up. Um, which maybe you take a different car to her wedding, but that's not the point here. It's fantastic. It is exactly what I think a hypercar would be, where the other two cars, at least for me, don't provide that level of pomp and circumstance.
I think the 918 gets there, close, but it's certainly not the drama and opera that the LaFerrari is.
That's fair, but I also think that when you compare Ferrari and Porsche as manufacturers,
Mm-hmm.
um, you're getting exactly what that those brands have cultivated over generations. The
Sure.
Ferrari is loud and it's brash and it's crazy and it's insane and it's electric blue and it is shiny and it is nuts. And then the Porsche is more staid and stoic. It is engineered to the nines. It is all-wheel drive. It is all of the incredible things that make it a crazy performer. But at the end of the day, what do you want from your hypercar? And
Hyper.
so I'm more of a Porsche guy in general. But when we're talking about the Holy Trinity here, I got to go Ferrari.
The
I love it.
Father, Son, and Holy Smokes. So we're going to look right now at the current auction prices of the three cars, and we're also going to look at our predictions that we made. We're going to see what I thought. We're going to see what Johnny thought. The Ferrari is currently at $4.2 million. It ends in about 4 hours. If we look at the Bidfinite platform that we're using it's a fun platform. It's like fantasy sports, but for car nerds. John and I have placed our bids, and I think this thing's going for $4,850,000. Johnny playing the prices right, it says $5,001.
So when you came up with 4.8,
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your process. Like, why do you think it's going to close at 4.8 million?
I looked at past auction results for LaFerrari coupes. So there's the Aperta, which is the Spyder convertible version. Those go for way more money. So the $5 million that you predicted on this would be absolutely reasonable for an Aperta version. But given that this is a one of three in this color, the only one in the States, plus the hype around this auction event on Bring a Trailer today, that's what got me to 4.85.
Well, it's funny you say that, because that's what got me to 5, is the amount of eyeballs that are on this trifecta, the amount of people that are interested in this auction, and at least for me, this being my favorite of the three, I think 5 million is not out of the realm. Although I do fully understand what, your point about the comps, which are hard to find in hypercars when we're talking about this few cars built. So we'll see. I don't know. Like, it's not that I'm incredibly confident, but I think this car has the potential for hitting 5 million. We're going to find out.
Yeah, we are going to find out. All right, so we're going to talk about the 918 Spyder right now. So it is currently at $2.5 million, about 5 hours left to go, 106 comments. It is a gorgeous car. It really is. John, did you notice that even though they matte wrapped the entire car, they left the wing?
They did. That's so that you could see how pretty it could have been.
Ooh.
But instead, I have a neighbor who's got a matte wrapped Mustang, and he really likes it. He's 18, but he's super into it. So, I'm not comparing the two, but also maybe a little bit.
Do you think? Wait a second. Do you think for that kind of money you wouldn't have the seam visible on your carbon fiber mirrors?
That's PPF.
I don't think it is.
No?
I don't think it is.
And even if it was PPF, do you think you couldn't find somebody to wrap that in one piece, like in the whole world?
Absolutely. This is a PPF seam here.
Yeah. But that middle part, you think that's manufacturing, like well, it's not casting because it's carbon fiber. I don't know.
If anybody out there listening owns a 918, just let us know. Is that a seam in the carbon fiber, or is that in the PPF?
Also, if you don't actually own the car, but you want to comment anyway, we're not going to know the difference. So by all means, fire away.
Yeah. E-Power. That just sounds lame. E-Power, that's like my lawnmower.
There is a lawnmower manufacturer that has bright green accents. I think
that's my lawnmower. It's Ego. Yeah, it's
Ego. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my point exactly. Like, look, man, on your lawnmower, that's amazing, right? The lime green accents make it sporty. You're not so much. I don't know. It just really irks me, and I'm trying to get over it. But clearly, we're several minutes in, and I'm not over it. It's fine. This is fine.
Yeah. All right. So let's go.
One day, what I would like to do is play a game, and maybe it's not for today, but we should play the game of whatever this closes at, right? Let's say it's going to close for 3 million. I don't know how much it's going to close for, but what else can you buy for $3 million? I would love to initiate that game, especially when you get into this stratosphere. I could buy a yacht and a house.
That's right.
17 cars.
Yeah.
3 million. So you think it's going to go for a little bit more?
Yeah, I actually do. I think it's going to go for 3.125 million. And this 918 will climb higher than others have, just based on the momentum of the market.
Can I ask a question that I can't stop thinking about?
Is it
maybe you're
about my
already
hair?
no, no, your hair is wonderful. It is looking cleaner than the Board of Health. But my question, I guess, is when I look at the 918, I see so much Carrera GT.
Yes.
Why wouldn't I just go buy a Carrera GT and save myself a ton of money? But if you go back to bragging rights, which you previously mentioned, that's why, I think,
Yes.
right? That's why. But I understand the concept, and you would certainly get bragging rights buying this car over a Carrera GT.
I guess that's the interesting thing, and we're going to talk about that when we get to the other cars. But in just about every car circle, having a Carrera GT would be baller status.
Yeah.
In some circles, though, that's an older car when this is an option, right? If this is state of the art, I would say the Carrera GT with the V10, I'd go in that direction.
I think I would too. I think I would too. But
yeah,
what do I know?
People are dying to get into that kind of car, aren't they?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
What about
the free market economy? Oh, here we are. The McLaren. I forgot that we hadn't made fun of this one for a while.
The color on this is interesting.
I love the color of this car. It's a color, first off, so it's already beating the Porsche. This car's got a cool history, right? Like it's got cool provenance.
Yes. This car itself, you mean the P1 or this P1?
This P1 being number 2 of 375 and you know.
I don't know if you read the story on this, but this was the first P1 delivered, Greenwich, Connecticut. A year later, it was shipped back to McLaren to have the body redone in this green. So this green carbon fiber weave is like the second outfit that this car is wearing.
That is a wild thought.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I could possibly equate it to as an everyman is like, yeah, I once got a scratch on the front of my Subaru, so I brought it back to Subaru and their area body shop painted it for me and fixed the scratch.
Let's see if we can get a close-up of this, the carbon fiber weave with the green. Maybe there's a better shot of it. So this is actually dyed. The carbon fiber is dyed. This green. So
RIP carbon fiber.
No, or is it in the clear coat? I honestly don't know. We're gonna have to edit that shit out because I don't know.
It's green and black. I think it's cool. So we're up to 1.5 million here with 5 hours left. What are our estimates? Because frankly, I don't remember.
Yeah, so 1.5 million in real dollars. Let's see, in our fantasy dollars over on Bidfinit. Johnny, you went to about 2 million.
I did.
And I went to about 1.8 on this car. And I'm trying not to let my distaste of this car influence my bid, but somebody's going to like it, right? Somebody wants it.
The money green carbon fiber is going to give this car a premium. Like, it's got a lot of eyeball, right? It is very, very cool looking. And if you have more money than enthusiasm, maybe you pick this car because you don't care about manufacturer history, or somebody told you that McLaren's the best and that's the one you should buy.
Right. Or maybe McLaren's having a killer F1 season or 2 or possibly 3, including next year. And you're like, hey, jump on the bandwagon here and pretend I'm part of the team.
Yeah, all of those things are possible when you get to this level. So I don't know. I'm interested to see it close.
Yeah. I'm interested to see it go away. I don't like it.
Yeah, well.
Go away, McLaren. Go away.
Is it time for a palate cleanser? Yes.
So now that we've looked at the Holy Trinity and we've made our predictions, John is going to take us through some more accessible options for me and you and the rest of us out there who aren't spending $5 million today. John, what are we going to look at?
So Stace, this is my bread and butter. These are things that make me happy. This is my type of car enthusiasm. And it's not for me to say that this is the right car enthusiasm. It's just my brand. I enjoy cheap and cheerful cars. I always have. I like the idea of not spending my children's inheritance, but me getting to have fun. And so I like cars from the 80s where there was a time you had literally so many different options. Every manufacturer had not just one line of fun car, but maybe 2 or 3 lines of fun cars. It's so different from today's new car market that it's almost hard to believe that if you wanted a commuter car, you could actually have a commuter that was fun to drive. It made you excited to get in and go. Today, we're so wrapped up with screens and technology. We want to make sure that we're in SUVs that haul a lot of stuff. And we want everything to be all-wheel drive so that it's good in the snow. That
even though most of us live places where there is no snow, or the snow is gone within days or hours, or we work from home and don't need to go anywhere in the snow. And don't get me
I
started.
love that you have adopted my rant, because that's exactly where I was going next. Like, the amount of all-wheel drive cars, like the amount of Subarus sold in Florida is ridiculous. Like, that
Crazy.
number should be like 0, but it's
There should be more massage parlors in Florida than Subarus.
I would think so. Yes, weird, but yes. So that's where we are, right? That's where 2025 leads us. We're in a place where, we're looking for convenience, but not necessarily fun. And so hearkening back to the 1980s, which the event that I created on Bidfinite showcases 4 cars from the 80s that were all about fun, that still were reasonable in terms of their economy. They were simple to own, inexpensive to own, but they were fun to drive. And in stark contrast to the Holy Trinity, the Four Horsemen of the Proletariat were inexpensive vehicles that just about anybody could buy and own and maintain. So here's the 4 cars that we selected. And you can also see from the screen that Stace won. So let's just get that out of the way. He fought a good event, but I just came up short here. He did great. He did great. Yeah. So
only 10 points. Only 10 points difference.
10 points separated us, but I'm still number 1 loser, and I'll get over it. It's gonna be fine. Anyway, let's go to the 4 cars.
Yeah.
The first car that I selected was this 1989 Honda CRX Si. It was an okay car. Not the CRX itself. The CRX was a phenomenal automobile. But this specific car, it had been repainted. It was a little long in the tooth. It was all there, but it had seen some stuff. And so, and full and fair disclosure, I owned a CRX Si. I owned a 1988, and it goes down in history as one of my favorite cars. It was super reliable. It had phenomenal gas mileage. It was incredibly fun to drive. And it was just a little tank. It just kept going and going and going. We put 250,000 miles on it as a family. And God, it was just so much fun to drive.
But John, this car here was a steal, I think, because there were worse cars that have gone recently for much more than this. So that's why you and I both overbid on this by thousands and thousands of dollars. But
yes.
I don't think our bids were off. I think the action on this auction was really light, even though our accident reported and the wheels are on the wrong way. Did you notice that?
I did notice that. And
let's tell people what we're talking about.
Yeah,
this is the only wheel that's the correct direction.
Orientation. The rest of them are a little backwards. Yeah, it's look, I think when you look at this car in person, the pictures are kind of tarting it up a little bit. But even with that, you're right. I looked at the comps, you looked at the comps, seeing what else has sold recently, and I thought it was going to go for more. The fact that it has quarter panels that are still intact made me think it was going to sell for more. So much fun, and I think it was an incredible value for the closing price.
Look at that. These door cars are just incredible. Well, not that so
Not
much.
that part. Not that part. And that's the thing about this car is you look at this specific car, you go through it and you go, oh man, look how cool that was. Well, not that part. Like, oh, look how cool those seats are. Not the dirty part of it. Like 214,000 miles. The HVAC controls are intact, which most of them are not. They all kind of crumble to dust. Maybe this had some sort of repair, but 5-speed manual, fun to drive. Those seats were so comfortable. You could fit a surprising amount in the back. And we're not talking about a lot of horsepower. This thing was
105, something like
thought
that.
it was 108. But anyway,
Let's see who's right.
hundreds.
Let's see who's right.
I thought it was 108.
You're right.
Yay.
108.
Great little car. And at $9,000, I think somebody got a steal.
Me too.
They're going to have to put some work into it to bring it up to a standard if that's what they're into. But it's a good basis for putting some money and some work into, in my opinion.
Let me ask you a question in your opinion.
Yes.
Let me just find it again. How comforting does the typeface on the clock make you feel?
All of the comfort. And I will tell you, when I look at that,
too.
I also
tell people why, because I get it. I feel the exact same thing.
I hear the Honda chime when I see that. I'm not going to do that anymore. One more. Cool car. I will say that I would prefer an 88 over an 89. Do you know why, Stace?
I do not. It might just be the seatbelt, but
yes.
Other than that,
nope, that's exactly it. The seatbelts in an 88 are pillar mounted, and an 89 they're door mounted, and I prefer the pillar mount.
We call these the mouse tracks, in case you don't know. Oh no, these aren't motorized.
Oh, it's just that they mounted them to the door, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Perhaps they were setting up for the mouse traps. I know exactly what you're talking about, the ones that go and have a motorized thing. Yes, but these don't have that. Anyway, $9,000. What else we got?
Hey, one thing before we jump off of this one, you know what that is? That's Morse code for the letter
H.
H, yes.
You know what else?
What's that?
That's a typo. Go back to the article.
This one?
It's not a 1.5. It's a 1.6 liter.
What the heck?
Oh, because it's an older article. The first gen SI was a 1.5. That's weird. Somebody dropped the ball, not us. We didn't drop the ball. I have my ball in my hand. Huh?
Yeah. What do you think of this? What happened here?
So Carroll Shelby, AC Cobra, made it into a Shelby Cobra. The Cobra Mustang, or the GT350, I should say. All of these really cool cars that Shelby created, and then he went away for a long time. Not to prison, just doing whatever.
Somewhere else. He just went somewhere else.
But back in the 80s, when Lee Iacocca said, hey, Shelby, we're friends for a long time. Why don't you come and tart up one of my K-car derivatives? And Carroll said, yeah, how you give me a lot of money? And Lido said, I will. And you end up with this and the Omni equivalent. But this is the Shelby Charger GLH-S. Do you know what GLH-S stands for?
Goes like hell.
And then what's the S? I don't remember.
Stink.
Seriously. Hell. Anyway, I am shocked by this event, this auction. I am shocked that it closed at $23,000. And maybe I'm shocked because I remember these cars when I was a kid and they were rough. Like the build quality was not there. They had big honking turbos, but they weren't reliable. I don't believe they were intercooled. Maybe the S was. But This car closed at $23,000.
Yeah.
That's not
I
very
would have given
prolific,
I would
right?
have given almost 20 grand for that CRX. No, 20 was too much for that, but like the CRX was so well bought. This car was so well sold.
Yes, I agree. I
Look
totally
at all
agree.
the plastic on this car. I mean, like the front
It's
of
very
this.
plasticky and it's very bendy and nothing lines up, but that's not because it was a poor restoration. That's how they were from the factory. It's it is still cool to see because I haven't seen one of these in forever. But $23,000, I'll tell you what, can you see what we bid on it? What you and I thought it
Yeah,
would go for?
yeah, absolutely. So you thought it was going to go for 14. Oh wow, we're really close. 14,225, and I said 14,200. You and I are both basing our predictions off of statistics, data,
Comps, yeah. I try to look
comps.
at what's in the marketplace and what has
This
sold
this
in
is
the last.
what it should have sold for.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and still, I thought at 14,225, I was being generous. Like, I didn't think I was going to be almost 50% of the closing bid. For whoever bought it, I hope they love it.
I'll tell you.
God,
Hey,
that
let me ask
sounds
you a
so
question.
cynical.
Speaking of
Yes.
the Omni, would you take a Charger GLH or an Omni GLH?
I always like the form factor of the Omner. Yeah, it just looked very, I like under the radar cars, and the Omni looks like an Omni, except it's painted black and it has lots of stickers on it. And it was just a cool car.
They absolutely were. I at the time when these were new, I was working at a restaurant, and one of the bartenders, who I believe was an alcoholic because he always drank on the job, he and I were leaving at the same time one night, and he had an Omni GLH-S, and I don't know if it was an S, but I know it was a GLH, and I had a Nissan pickup truck at the time, and I remember us drag racing like you know, from stoplight to stoplight. And I'm like, first of all, he was way faster than me, but I'm like, but then at the same time, he was also like half in the bag. So, but it was the 80s. I mean, you let your friends drive drunk, you let your friends race drunk. That was awful. I shouldn't have done that or told that story.
The statute of limitations have run out, I'm sure.
Yeah, but those are fast cars. I mean, like, I mean, how fast were they if we think about them in 0 to 60? Like for now, I don't know. I
I don't
don't
remember
know.
what the horsepower rating was, but I think it was
175.
one. Okay, so 175 horsepower, very light car. It's probably 2,500 pounds. So good power to weight ratio. I mean, the only thing is, I don't think they were intercooled, and I can't even imagine how bad the turbo lag must have been. You would do a one, two, three, and then it would take off and be crazy. But you had a lot of time to think about how bad that was going to go if anybody pulled out in front of you. Anyway,
Oh,
$23,000, that's a lot of money. But what else do we have? We have two more cars.
yeah, we do. We have the Mr. Two.
Let's talk about Toyota in the 80s really
Yeah.
quickly. And if you remember, I said that manufacturers had multiple fun cars. In 1985, you could have bought the MR2. You could have bought the Celica GTS. You could have bought a Celica convertible. You could have bought a Toyota Supra. You could have bought
A
a,
Paseo.
I don't think we were up to Paseo in 1985, but you could have bought a Tercel wagon four-wheel drive with a manual.
Wow.
There were
How about a
so many.
Starlet? Could you get a Starlet? Was there a hot
Starlets were
version?
done by 1985 in this country. But the Starlet was always kind of an amazing car to me. You could have bought a Corolla GTS. The oh, what's the anime? God, I feel like such an old man right now. Initial D. That car is a contemporary to the MR2. So much fun to be had. Now let's specifically talk about the MR2. Do you know what MR2 stands for?
In English?
Yeah,
Mid rear, two-wheel drive.
midship runabout two people.
Oh.
So mid-engine, runabout because the Japanese were into running about, and you could fit two people in it. So yeah, MR2. I love these when they came out. I thought they were really cleverly packaged. They're super fun to drive. Like they are just so well balanced. They're not fast. I mean, the engine in it was fuel injected, but it wasn't anything that was going to light your hair on fire. These are great cars, and this one looks very, very clean, very well preserved.
It's such an 80s color, this blue.
Yes, and I didn't. I guess at some point I was kind of over that blue, but I'm not over that blue anymore. I love it. It's just such a time and place car. This thing is so nice and so clean, and I think it comes from upstate New York, so it was obviously garaged in the winter. It doesn't have a ton of rust. It has very little rust. The fact that all of the grommets and everything are still where the mud guards are is very telling. These cars rotted like it was their job, but love the interior accents. I mean,
did you read the story about how these seats are still so pristine?
No, I didn't.
So in the comments, I think somebody asked the seller, like, were these recovered? And he said, well, when I bought this car, the previous owner had seat covers on it, which were really ratty. And when I took them off, the seats, the original seats were perfect underneath because somebody had seat covers on them.
I gotta say, I'm the longtime owner guy. Like somebody's gonna buy one of my cars and they're gonna be like, you're never gonna believe this, but that jerk kept seat covers and double floor mats and triple floor mats. And now it's perfect. And I'm not the guy that gets to enjoy it. It's the next owner.
Do you remember cars with battery gauges?
Yeah, full instrumentation. Imagine that. Like, think about this. This was a commuter car. It was a little more expensive than like an average run-of-the-mill Civic or whatever, but this was a relatively affordable car. You could go as a middle-class citizen and buy this car relatively easy. And look at all the personality, the coolness of it. It is, oh man, I love it. I love it. And there's nothing in the marketplace today. I guess the AE86, maybe a WRX, but I wouldn't put it in the same category. 5-speed manual. You see the binnacle where the power windows are on the door panel? I mean, this car is full of binnacles, but like you see that round, yes, that roundy thing. It's an inspired interior. That is inspired design. It's a little weird, but it's awesome.
I gotta ask you, I wasn't aware that these had like a climate control, because typically this would just be a gradient from cold to hot, but these are actually temperature demarcations.
At one point, I owned a 1985 Supra, and I had the same. It was auto climate control, which was pretty advanced for the time.
Yeah.
God, I love this car. I kind of wish I bought it. Remind me again. What did it close at? 15?
It closed at 15.25, and you were really close at 15.750. I wasn't as rich on it. I thought it was only going to 13, but you were really close on this one. As far as a percentage, you were within 3% of its price. That was damn good.
And I got to be honest with you, it still seems well bought, because if you're fighting rust in any capacity, you'll spend way more on a car that you own for half the money. Yeah. So, and it's not going to be original. Like, this looks like original paint. I think that with the low miles, it's a car that will appreciate in value, but it's also a car that you can drive and enjoy, because it's not super low miles where every mile is going to work against it.
All right. Speaking of appreciation, have you seen what's happening with RX-7s? The prices have dropped considerably since their peak in COVID. And that happened with a lot of cars. Let's talk about what this car sold for, what our predictions were, and then let's dive into the specs of this generation of RX-7 and what makes them great cars.
Okay.
So the car sold for 10 grand. I came in at 9,100. So I'm not far off there. Johnny was at about 14,000. He was pretty far off there, hence why he lost.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I owned one of these, and it was a fantastic car, just like the other three. I really liked my RX-7, but I owned an 85. It was a GSL. It wasn't an SE. The SE denoted a larger engine, but this is a nice, clean car. It's in really good shape. It's been well preserved. They are fun to drive. The rotaries are weird. They make power weird. They drive kind of weird. They make weird noises, but they're fun because they're so different.
What are some of those weird noises?
Oh God, it. I'll make the noise in a second, but the way I can equate it is the power delivery and the noise that's associated with it reminds me of a modern CVT transmission. It's like a very linear power band, and so it's just like. Actually, I think that was pretty good. It's not like anything else. I actually owned a red one with these wheels, like this exact spec is what I had, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. So I thought this was going to sell for more, but I guess speaking out of both sides of my mouth, I'm not surprised that values have decreased. It's hard to get somebody to work on a rotary. Rotaries tend to need work. And they just don't make a lot of power, but they do have a really cool graphic equalizer and quartz clock.
This thing looks like an audio stack from straight out of the 80s. Like, this is home audio equipment. This is incredible.
It's made by Clarion, and I agree. And I love the equalizer. Like, that is awesome. It's just fantastic. Look, this is a good car. I think somebody stole this at 10 grand. I think that there is a lot of room for appreciation, but also I understand why values seem to be going in the wrong direction if you own one.
Let me ask you a question about these straps since you were an owner.
Yes.
These aren't seat belts, but what are they?
They're for the sunroof. So you would put the sunroof back there and then strap it down so it didn't hit you in the head if you got in an accident.
Oh, okay. You know, speaking of photos, though, I think one thing that really held this car back were these crappy photos.
Yeah, this is definitely like a marketplace. Some guys like, oh, I got to go out and take pictures of my car.
This one here.
That's it doesn't make the car look flattering at all.
It's not even in the frame the whole way. I mean, it's like same here.
What about the front bumper, sir? Yeah, it's poorly photographed, poorly presented. I feel
here
bad
it is up on the grass. I mean, did he, curve a couple
all
of
of his
wheels?
neighbors have the same house that he does. Like, there's not a lot of creativity wherever this car came from. It's just, I don't even know where it is, but it's fine. Like, good for them. Like, that guy's happy.
Did you watch any of the videos here?
I did not have a chance to watch the videos.
All right, so we're gonna roll this video. I want to.
The caption makes me very curious.
You want to see it?
Yeah,
High revs?
Let's see it. Let's see how close I came to the sound. Can you make it louder?
That's as loud as it goes.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Oh.
How's that?
Anyway, it's so anticlimactic. The name of the video is "Drive Off High Revs."
Yeah, I thought he was going to dump the clutch and do a burnout. Or
no, he did none of that.
I mean, the car's naturally rev high.
Not with that driver at the helm, apparently.
Not the way he drove it. It's anyway, 10 grand for that. Of the four, what would be your choice?
Oh, without question, that's CRX. I was so envious of you with the CRX.
Eventually, so that went through the whole family. It was originally my dad's. He bought it new, and then he gave it to my sister. She drove it for a number of years, and then when she was done with it, I got it. At that point, it had probably 180,000 miles on it, and I drove it up to 250. Again, I've waxed poetic on this car more than once. I absolutely loved it, and I agree with you. Of the four cars, certainly the CRX, but for me, it's nostalgia. The second would probably be that MR2 because it is so incredibly clean. But of these four cars, you can't really go wrong with any of them, except for the Shelby. That RX-7 was also super clean. These would make good hobby cars, right? They would make good Sunday driver cars and coffee vehicles where you're going to get a lot of eyeballs because they're cool.
Right.
Um, and this is, as I said, as we started this is my kind of car enthusiasm. I can appreciate the hypercars and the millions of dollars spent, but my heart is where the second event was. I love this stuff. It's a good car. They're all good cars.
I'm going to say the black, I generally like black on almost any car. The silver CRX that you guys had, silver, I think, was a much better color for this car. And I don't think silver was nowhere near as ubiquitous. It was a treat to see a silver car. And your CRX in silver, I thought, was perfect.
Agreed. And this was a car that came in black, Barbados yellow, I think it was Milano red, but I'm not sure, but a red or silver. The SIs only had 4 options. The non-SIs had more, but I think silver suited that car really well because it had some black plastic cladding that broke up the silver a little bit and really emphasized the size of the car. So yeah, Dad optioned the car right when he ordered it.
Yeah, I would get the Barbados yellow. I'm a fan of the yellow.
I've heard that about you. I like your shirt.
Let's mention one other thing about Bidfinite. So on Bidfinite, there's a leaderboard which tracks all the events that you've taken part in, and you'll notice that John is still ahead of me. Johnny Miata, he is ahead of me by just 100 or so, fewer than 100 points. I'm gaining on him though, and this is after.
I got you by over 1,000, friend.
Oh, John has me by over 1,000. As I refocus my eyes and look at the screen, and welcome to the real world, he said to me. Yeah,
we got time. John, we got time. I think it's a lot of fun to play this game, and it really focuses my enthusiasm to hang out with your friends and talk about cars and have bragging rights.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be beat. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. So you can check out Bidfinite on your own time. Not right now because you're watching this show, which is Bid Left Nut. And it's all about auction prices, auction values, cars.
Like, share, and subscribe. We need to get the word out. I would love to have an audience, a big audience, or 1,000 people. Got to subscribe.
And it's a free subscription, folks. No one's going to send you an envelope in the mail asking for you to send $9.99 back to us. That's not going to happen.
How much does it cost?
It's free.
Oh, that sounds
100% free. 100% free. Tell us about New Hope Auto Show.
So the New Hope Auto Show, one of the oldest auto shows in the country in scenic Bucks County, Pennsylvania. It is, I believe, it's over 60 years. I know that because I have a shirt that says 60 years. So we're probably closer to 66, 67. Anyway, it is a 2-day show. And at the time of filming, it is August 8th. So the show is August 9th and 10th. I would love for somebody to come up to the merchandise tent where I will be all weekend and just tell me they saw this episode or any episode. It would make my heart happy. I think that covers everything.
That's everything. All right, John.
All right, Stace.
Have a great car show weekend.
Thank you. I will. And I believe you mentioned to everybody to speed safely, right?
Speed safely, everyone. Speed safely.